So here they have a bunch of different herbs, and James says that is a lettuce leaf basil, and you can see the kind of leaf that it's making is interesting. It's not like the sweet basil that you have seen before. And what you have here is a very interesting plant called nasturtium. It makes a flower, orange and bright red color flowers. And the flowers are used for flavoring salads. And it's got a peppery taste to it. The leaves can also be eaten. I think it's more like a sulfur flavor to it.
I
Because
love
it's in
them
that
too.
same family.
Yeah, they're
Yes.
very peppery.
And this is an interesting herb. This is a fenugreek. The fenugreek is a legume. I think we talked about it. The seed is used as a flavoring agent in curries, but also the leaf is used as a vegetable, and the leaf itself is cooked. But it's a plant that takes a long time to grow, many months to grow, and so they're going to try that, right, growing here.
Yeah.
And we have celery. Yes, okay, they are growing celery. That's interesting. They have the
Also
transplants ready. Yes, that's going to take a long time. And there are more celery seedlings there, and they have some
Dill.
in there, a few plants of dill. So this is again a collection, looks like a herb collection for them to start. Okay, what do you see here? Two varieties of banana is all around the garden. And this is a dwarf type of banana. And these plants have to grow for a whole year almost. And they will start flowering now in this area of Gainesville. And they'll make the hand. So what do you see here? All of these is the female flowers that made the fruit. And this fruit will take a longer time to mature. And then you can harvest it. When you harvest it, you harvest this whole bunch. And then the bunch is kept in a place for ripening. So you would harvest it when it's not completely turned yellow, but just slightly when color turns is when it's harvested. This is a male flower of banana. You can see how large it is. And each one of this is a bract. And this bract is not edible. The inside, each one of these floret is edible. But if it's prepared the right way, you can use it as a vegetable. And then you see here a cluster of bananas growing from the comb, which is underground. You can't see the comb, but when you dig it out, it's a circular big structure. It is an underground storage structure for the plant. And so every time when we have a frost, the frost will kill the top, and the whole thing will look like everything is dead. And after the frost is over during spring, the plants will come back again and produce the shoots. So you see here 3 different plants that are stuck together, but also some side shoots that are coming out. So the side shoots need to be removed all the time. And usually it's best to have only like 2 pseudo stems together and remove the third one, because that will give more energy for the 2 that is growing. So this is not ready yet. It needs another 2 months to really mature. And I don't know whether we will get two months in the season. It depends on when we get the first frost. But when the temperature goes down, the plant also weakens pretty much, right?
Yeah.
So you see these large leaves, and this is a common thing in bananas. It makes a very beautiful large leaf, but it's also very sensitive to wind damage. So when the wind is high, the leaves will split like this and break, and this is a protection for the leaf without getting damaged. It just gets partially damaged and just stays there like that. Okay?
Yeah, another thing, the reason why they were originally planted here was as a windbreak for frost protection. So they kind of take some of the wind off of the crops, and also are at this point providing a lot of shade, maybe too much shade on our edge rows. But it's very interesting to see how some of them have matured way sooner than others. You can see that this clutch isn't super filled out, but we've already harvested some of the bananas, so there's a big difference in that. And like you said, even if they're not completely full, you can take them off before your first freeze and ripen them off the plant.
So other thing is, plantains are the bananas that are mostly high starch bananas that are used for cooking. These are not plantains. They are for mostly for fruit use, like a sweet ripened fruit use. So even this can be cooked. If you say that we get hit with a frost and we have to harvest it early before it ripens, we can still use it as a vegetable. And then the stem inside, it can be used as a vegetable, but it needs to be cut. The whole stem needs to be cut, and then we have to remove the pseudo stem. for a vegetable use. Okay, these are not going to develop anymore. They need to be removed. If we really want these bananas, the fingers to grow better, we need to remove the male flower and all of this. And if we remove it, the energy that's going to this is going to be conserved and the fruit will develop better. And so as a practice in banana plantations, they will remove the male flower the moment the female fingers appear. They will cut it off, all of the flowers.
Yeah, so if you turn around, you can see we've been trying to give the flowers away to people so that they can cook them as a vegetable, but you see that one of the stalks doesn't have, or quite a few of the stalks don't have flowers on them anymore.
They've been cut.
Yeah, they've been cut. The only thing that is like, the only negative side of that is that sometimes when you cut them, they're more exposed to fungus, and so fungus can kind of move up in the bunch.
So they have a tall type of banana, and there's a dwarf type. This is a dwarf type. And the dwarf type makes a very thicker stem. The pseudostem is much thicker than the other. Then the height is much taller at the other variety. So this one is short. So thank you, James, and it's been a wonderful trip. Any of you have any questions on any aspects of this? And one thing is they are using, as they use organic fertilizers, they're also using organic pesticides, right? Most of the pesticides they are using are simple ones that don't require licensing and all that. So they're using simply like a Bacillus thuringiensis.
Just BT,
Just BT,
really.
yes, okay. So that's what they're using in terms of control. And they are mulching very heavily. That's a trick to reduce the weed pressure. So in terms of pest control operation-wise. And in terms of harvest and processing, they're harvesting it. They have a place where they are processing the vegetables. The vegetables are sanitized in a solution that contains hydrogen peroxide. And after rinsing it, they rinse it in water and store it in special boxes. And these boxes are kept inside a refrigerated room. And it's stored there before distribution to Field and Forks and other places.